Hello, hello. How's everybody today? Big shout out to my nephew Jeff. Happy birthday, Jeff. My oldest nephew, 39, 39 years old. Happy shout out to Jeff. Trixie, are you telling everybody that we're going to talk? It's in our thing. And now it's story time. Shilly Shally. I haven't seen your name, Shilly Shally. Tabitha Young. Caddy Connie. Cake. Mona. Joy. You're not my best friend Joy from when I was 9 years old, right? Because you didn't tell me that you were going to be watching. Diane, how are you? Pussycat, hi. Carissa JB, been waiting all day for this. Well, I've been sleeping all day for this. I went to sleep about 10 o'clock this morning, and here I be. And the dogs went out. Sorry about that. The dogs went outside, and they was good. Right? These are all my alarms to make sure that I get here on time. Ruth Carroll, how are you? Karen, that's my name. I already took my Excedrin migraine for this. Okay, glad you got some rest. Me too. I got to go to sleep before I go to work again, though. I got to work midnight tonight, right? 11 to 7. Oh, I got something in my eyeball. Okay, let's see. How is everybody? There's 69 of you. 69. We'll give a little bit. Ouchies. Why is there ouchies? Anybody that has any Eddies or any Smokies, help yourself. As AG would say, bring your popcorn. Come on. Has anybody seen AG in a minute? AG Tactical. Big congratulations to him. He's got to be coming up on 50 if he doesn't have 50,000. Hi, Jamie. How you doing? Lindsay. Messy little polka dot. My eye. Wasn't that funny? I was just watching him. Oh, you were just watching AG? Cool. All right. 420. That's right. Who's ice fishing? Damn. Guys, what do you think? I don't need more sleep. Why? Hey, do I look bad? I have my hair a little bit, but you know. Steph Goodman. Thank you. All right, guys, are we ready? Ahoy, Gyps-a-hooooooy. Thank you, Trixie. Thank you. Messy little polka dot. My hair is a little funky. I know that. I hope it tastes like Hubba Bubba. Guys, you know them. That's my beverage there. My beverage does taste like Hubba Bubba. What guy on Ancient Aliens? All right, are we ready? There's 94 of you, and 45 of you are giving me a thumbs up. Zombie, are we ready to go? We are on chapter 17 of this masterpiece. Those of you that don't know, I have a couple interviews coming up. I'm very excited. Hi, Edie. I'm very excited. I have Trixie Lane, who happens to be in the chat right now. I'm excited to be talking to her. And I have 1980 Millennial Commentates as well. And I'm doing, I want to say Trixie Lane on Sunday and 1980 Millennial on Monday, I want to say. So, but I'm very excited. I'm really excited about that. All right, guys. So, everybody have everything they need. I spent Christmas Eve and day in the ER room. Are you all right? Putting effort into not feeling sorry for myself. Okay. I am really Sorry to hear that. I hope that you feel better, Ruth. Nothing's worse than spending time in the hospital on Christmas. Except spending time with a child that got hurt on Christmas in the hospital. That's pretty sucky. All right, guys, are we ready? Chapter 17, okay? You made it, Jamie. You made it. You made it. Diet Pepsi drinker, Mags, Edie, Ghetto Country, 420. Kathy Hannah, Sky Renee, Ruth Carroll, today's creation. All right. Chapter 17. It's French. Coming on fait son lit on ses couch. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Or now lie on it. People were reeling. I could walk. I could eat. The wheelchair was an unnecessary prop. The feeding tube a mirage. While it would have been safe to assume all of my other ailments were fake, it would have been very dangerous not to treat me for them, at least until they could confirm what was real and what wasn't. She knew what was real and what wasn't. In order to do that, once I got to Greene County Jail, I was placed under surveillance. Of course, I didn't know this at the time. Nothing was explained. I was cuffed and shackled and at the mercy of the people who towed me around. Yeah, that's called being arrested. Dumbass. She's so stupid. Hi, Cat Stoller. Hi, Starwink. Bubba da bubba. Bubba bubba F. Don't forget Dubes. Hey, Dubes. All right. What meds did I really need? What diseases did I really have? What symptoms or withdrawals was I exhibiting? Without access to a designated medical watch where doctors could run tests or observe me or analyze my medical records, authorities were left to put me on unalivement watch. It took me about 7 seconds to learn that sending a dejected person to such a place only puts them closer to the brink, not the other way around. The difference is, dumbass gypsy, there's nothing there that you could do it with. There's nothing in that room that could help you unalive yourself. There's no way possible in that room that you can unalive yourself. See, that's why they put you in there, Miss Know-It-All. Now she's starting to talk about a place that I used to work. Not cool, Gyps-a-hooooooy. Not cool. You ready? All right. County jail is a despicable place. Not if you work there. It was dirty and crowded. The food was expired and toxic, not where I worked. And the people were ruthless, no matter the tier they were on. Tier 1 was for holding prisoners charged with lesser crimes like drug offenses and prostitution. The woman there shared an open bay pod, a dormitory-style area with several bunk beds, a communal area, and shared facilities. The communal area is usually called the beach. It was called the beach where I worked. Toddy, if you're not feeling well, I hope you get. Why am I not feeling well? I feel fine. Is there something wrong with me? People charged with more heinous and violent crimes like MURDER were housed on tier 2. That's where they put me. Why, Gyps-a-hooooooy? Why did they put you there? All the inmates at county have not yet had their day in court. That's not true. Some people have had their day in court and they just haven't had long sentences, so they're going to do time in county. Or some people have already been sentenced and they're waiting for movement. So that's not true. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about because she's an idiot. That's where they put me. All the inmates at county have not yet had their day in court. Bullshit. Idle, they await their fate. Boredom plus lockup is not a good combination. What do you want? What do you want? A disco? I mean, what do you want? Music, jazzercise? What do you want? I'd wait more than a year to see a judge and receive my sentence. Yep, And let me tell you something, if it wasn't a violent act like that, you probably would have gotten out on probation, but it was a violent act and you were a liar, liar, pants on fire. So you sat there in your stew and you learned nothing, Gyps-a-hooooooy. She learned absolutely nothing. Nothing while she sat there awaiting her day in court. Sat there and learned how to be a better criminal. That's what she did. Okay, so I'd wait more than a year to see a judge and receive my sentence. Until then, I learned quickly how to protect myself from the horrors of living among hopeless and desperate criminals, many of whom were repeat offenders. Many had not much to lose. Not any that you were with. Oh, yeah, the ones you were with. I'm sorry, because you were with the MURDERs, the dangerous ones, just like you. You didn't think we'd put you in with children, did you? I know you were hoping so you could push some eyes in the back of your head or pull somebody's hair. Maybe whoever was calling the shots thought I'd be safer in a segregated unalivement watch because I'd be separated from the rest of the population who had heard about my case and might harass me. Or maybe it was to protect me from violence. I had gone from living a sheltered, isolated life to living with wolves that showed their teeth to assert their power, to fill their boredom, and to stay alive themselves. Oh my God, these analogies are killing me. I had gone from living a sheltered, isolated life to living with wolves that showed their teeth and fill their boredom. I was sent to the segregated cell block without explanation. I thought they were trying to torture me, teach me a lesson. I kept thinking about the two men in the van to St. Paul. Maybe this is a prequel to Death Row. Remember, she was talking about the two guys that harassed her in that van? I don't believe that story at all. They don't put you in there so that you could harass each other. Yeah. And they don't put you in there so that you can face each other and all that bullshit. She's a liar. Barefoot, I was forced to wear a dark green smock with nothing underneath. It's called a turtle suit. It's called a turtle suit. A turtle suit. Are you guys talking about the fucking barbecue sauce? Wow, you guys are so. You guys. Oh, God. You want me to read 50 Shades of Grey next? Here we go. Barefoot, I was forced to wear a dark green smock with nothing underneath, aka turtle soup. If I got my period, they'd give out special underwear, not much different from the pull-ups my mom put me in. They delivered me to a concrete and brick cell block about 6 by 6. 6 feet by 6 feet. You don't need anything bigger than that, Gyps-a-hooooooy. With one toilet and two naked ladies. At that time, I didn't know why they weren't wearing smocks. Soon enough, I'd figure out the smocks could be used as nooses. The smocks could be used as nooses. Not usually. They're made out of paper and there's nothing to them. It's just to, keep you from exposing yourself. Those women decided, what the hell? Let me expose myself. Unalivement watch doubled as a psych ward. Did they think I was mentally unstable? We all think you're mentally unstable, Gypsy. We bet money on it. How many people would bet money? There's 166 of you and 86 of you. Give me a thumbs up, please. We'll get, what do they say? So that the algorithm will catch up. I just want the thumbs up, guys. I'm working hard. She needs a turtle suit now. No, she doesn't, because she's not trying to unalive herself. Maybe the people around her need a turtle suit. And you're absolutely right. There was no reason to even mention her period, right? Just a nod. She's got to be. Oh, God, she's so disgusting. All right, let's continue onward. Okay. Unalivement watch doubled as a psych ward. Did they think I was mentally unstable? We still do. I wasn't showing signs of a breakdown, but maybe to them, that was a telltale sign of psychosis. Unaliving one's mom isn't a normal task. It's not what most people do, Gyps-a-hooooy. It's just, to get people on board to say, yep, that's okay. Yeah, maybe a psych ward when everybody is taken the drugs, they might agree with you, but the minute they start coming off of them, yeah, they're pointing their fingers at you, calling you an animal, an MURDER. Anyway, okay. Maybe I wasn't reacting because I had lost contact with reality. You didn't react because you have no heart or soul. That is why. That is why. I tried to do my Gyps-a-hooooooy impression for you guys. Um, I'm trying to do that, guys. I know she's totally disgusting, Irene. She's never had contact with reality. Yeah, I agree. Um, was I taking it all too well, adjusting better than they thought I should? Yeah, because if you don't feel any remorse about unaliving somebody, that's a tall tale sign or a tell all sign. It just tells the world that something's wrong with you. Wrong with you. Wrong with you, Gyps-a-hooooooy. Upon my arrest and transport, I'd exhibited no freaking out or attempts to hurt myself or others. Well, you did, your mom. Was I somehow carrying my dad's steadfastness with me? Where'd your dad come from in this? Or maybe it was just shock or denial. No, you know what you did. Probably all of it. Or maybe you were just, I don't know, realizing that maybe you weren't going to have X in a minute with a man. I don't know. Maybe it was that. Everything with you is so actual. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There is something that mentions this. I see it. Regardless, they must have thought I was crazy because my roommates certainly were not exactly sane. They were probably saner than you. Were they in their front aliving their mama? Hmm? Hmm? On the second day in the cell, one of the naked ladies heard the guards coming and said, "Oh, yay, time for our daily RAPING. A daily RAPING question mark? As I trembled and held myself in a ball, the naked ladies cackled. The more I cried, the more snot that bubbled from my nostrils. The more they laughed like a pair of wicked hyenas. Hyenas, you know. Wicked hyenas. Aren't they laughing hyenas? What's that word? Hysterical hyenas? What's that word? They were speaking prison language. RAPING meant it was time for the guards to do their daily search of our cell. I don't know what the guards thought we could have gotten our hands on. We sat there with nothing to do. We weren't allowed to go to the canteen or commissary. We couldn't have a razor to shave. We didn't even have a mattress to sleep on. We had to eat our delivered meals with cardboard spoons and forks. Not only, no, not that I wanted to eat much. You can't spit away the taste of cardboard from your mouth. Yeah, you can. With each daily search, with each daily cell search, the guards seemed like they hoped they'd found something off limits or in prison talk, contraband. That's any talk. Contraband is in the dictionary, Gypsy Rose. You could look it up. Things you're not allowed to have. I felt violated and subhuman. I wonder how your mom fucking felt. And on top of being demoralized, nobody explained to me why I was being treated as a deplorable. What'd you think? They treated you like you were in a five-star hotel when they arrest you? With every search, I wondered, how do they think we can manage to get ourselves a razor, a fork, a tampon from outside? I had a lot to learn about prison life. So, here I'm pretty sure she's talking about jail, but then she mentions prison, and I mean she can mention that interchangeably, but they're not just worried about what you could bring in. There might be something that might already be inside of you that you might be exporting, because what comes in goes out, right? So they could have been worried about that. Supposedly, she said, right, that uh, she had taken drugs and that she was an addict. Yeah, again, I don't believe that anything showed that there was anything in her system when she was arrested. So, all right, laughing hyenas, that's what it was. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, Into the Weeds. Hey, Amy, Denise. Hey, guys. Hey, I am. We're gonna talk to Trixie, Amy. Don't ruin it for us. We're going to be talking to her. Memento Mori, how you doing? Love Shack Sarah, how are you? Into the Weeds podcast, how you doing? How you doing, guys? Guys, Into the Weeds podcast. You guys should check out Into the Weeds podcast. Amy, I want you to face that corner. Don't delete your comment, Trixie. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. I'm excited about our interview and stuff. You're doing wonderful. That's great. Happy holidays to both of you guys, Into the Weeds podcast, to mom and daughter. Guys, you guys should check out that channel, those that don't know. And also, just so you know, they have awesome music that you don't get to hear everywhere. And it's really good music from somebody that owned a recording studio. I was really surprised at the quality. I haven't heard a song I don't like yet. So, guys, definitely check that out. Definitely check that out. Cherokee girl, I'm glad you retired. I got 3.5 more years. Okay. Are we ready? We're going to continue onward. All right. So, yeah, so I just wanted you guys to realize that not only did they think maybe she was taking something from nowhere, but they also want to know if there's anything that she is pushing out of her system that maybe she swallowed, like a balloon filled with drugs. But no, because she didn't have a problem. She didn't have a problem with that. Okay. And it was called spinning the cells. I never heard of RAPING, but again, I haven't been working there in a long time, but I've never heard that terminology. It was always shake it down or spinning, tossing the cells. Yeah. All right. I had a lot to learn about prison life, Gypsy says. Roommates came and went, and I never knew what the next lady would do. Would this be the one like the naked lady who howled at the moon all night, even though we only had 2 slivers in the wall they called windows? Would this one be like the naked lady who had detailed and intense conversations with the wall? Or would this one be like the naked lady who hit her head and mumbled to herself in cuss words? I thought there was only 2 naked ladies. How come she's got 3? Oh, how I wished I had all 3 back again. Didn't she say 2 at first? Because this one liked to play in her own poop. Well, Gypsy, I think you probably liked that. Let me back up and explain that when you are under this type of watch, you don't leave the cell. There isn't even 1 hour of rec time in a yard. We were only allowed one 10-minute phone call a day and 1 shower. So pretty much all day long, I was forced to watch my naked roommate delight in her excrement as if it were Play-Doh, y'all. How do you know? Did mommy let you play with Play-Doh? Maybe her mommy didn't let her play with Play-Doh. Maybe she came from a really poor family. Sometimes she'd leave her feces in the toilet and poke at it like it was a bobblehead. One time I had to bribe her to stop, promising I don't remember what, because the stench made me hurl. She didn't shower, and her skin folded, trapping sweat and bacteria in her own shit. I'm not telling you this to make you sick. I'm telling you this because I'm a dirty pig and I got off on it. Whoops, no, she didn't say that, but I heard. I'm telling you this because I noticed she was being heavily medicated and the whole scene, upon reflection, was unjust. Oh, she's going to be an advocate for the woman that played with her poop. Mm. Some of these people were so far gone, it was hard to believe they were cognizant enough to commit any crime. They probably didn't unalive their mom, though. Were they just being pulled from the streets and housed at the jail? No, we don't take care of people that way. This roommate's meds would make her sleep a lot, waking only for meals, which she'd gorge herself on, and had severe bowel movements. Well, she needed to if that was her play toy. Playing with them seemed to bring her joy. You got to take what you can there. Take what you can in the joint. I was horrified, confused, and trapped like this for 4 months. For a few days, I wondered if I should put my smock, if I should put my smock to use. Wait a minute. For a few days, I wondered if I should put my smock to use. I looked closely on the walls, around the bunk beds, on the ceilings, for high enough places I could tie it to. I think she was thinking, I guess she was thinking that she could contemplate unaliving herself. And the smock that's made out of paper, that's strictly made for people so that they can't do that. Gypsy's gonna figure out a way. With a will, there was a way to get out of your mom's house. Spend your energy on that. All right. My dad and Christy came to visit me about a week after I had been extradited from Wisconsin. They, along with Aunt Celeste and Grandma Sharon, came from New Orleans to Springfield to see me for the first time in years. I was so nervous when I was being escorted to the visiting room where I saw 4 unfamiliar faces behind glass. I didn't remember the last time I saw any of them, and as I walked toward them in handcuffs, they looked at me quizzically, as if to say, "Who is this girl?" I remember similarly thinking, I don't know who these people. I don't know these people, but I need people right now. I need support. You need money on your commissary books. My ability to walk was the elephant in the room because I walked like an elephant in the room. I felt shy about letting them see me walk because I walked on 2 feet the way everybody walks. I didn't walk on my hands. I walked on 2 feet. But I was embarrassed and ashamed, as if each step represented a lie I told at their expense. That's what it was, Gyps-a-hooooooy. I didn't realize they were happy and sad at the same time. Happy that I was walking and healthy, sad because I didn't feel I could go to them for help. There was so much for all of us to unpack and process. Well, I made up lies along the way. We didn't understand almost 100% of what Mike, my attorney, Mike Stanfield, reported to us. Well, he was making shit up as things went along for him, too. It was too fantastic to reason. Of course, because he gave you a fucking alibi for killing your mom. What a piece of shit this guy was. As Mike uncovered medical lie after medical lie, there wasn't any lies. There wasn't. She had everything, all the symptoms. She had them all from the microdeletion. Microdeletion. Yes, her TikTok account was hacked, guys, and somebody was asking for $500. Do not give them $500 because who knows if it's true. And if you really had her TikTok account and information like that, wouldn't you sell it for more than 500? They could probably go to some Lifetime, or not Lifetime because Lifetime loves her, TMZ or something like that, and sell it for a lot of money, right? Right. I don't think I think it's a scam too. She might need the money. Maybe 1,000 people, $500, money in the bank. All right. Let's continue onward. All right. As Mike uncovered medical lie after medical lie, the discovery process threw us into a cognitive dissonance. Dissonance. Each reveal fired at us like machine gun rounds, facts that shot at the heart. The analogies are back. Grandma Sharon spoke first. How you doing in there? There was no way I was going to tell them about Suicide Watch or naked ladies or how shitty I felt from not having my pain meds. Oh, well, trust me, if you didn't have your pain meds, you'd be shitting all over yourself. You wouldn't have to tell anybody jack shit, Gypsy. They know. They know withdrawal symptoms better than you would know withdrawal symptoms. You're a fucking liar. I'm okay, Gypsy says to them. Good, good. Yeah, great, fine, swell, traffic. The small talk was killing me. I had limited time and I needed to know, did you still love me after I unalived my mom in the most horrific way? Thank you, A. Donald. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So good, good. Yeah, yeah. Fine, swell, traffic. Small talk was killing me. I had limited time and I needed to know. What happened to Mama? Did she have a funeral? Did you go? You want me to believe that she really gave a shit about her mom and asked about what happened to her mom's remains? Did she have a funeral? Did you go? Are you kidding me? She asked her dad about that, supposedly. What's the matter, guys? Am I confusing you? Everything all right in the chat? Cherokee girl, everything okay? Everything all right, guys? Someone's confusing you? They always confuse me. Okay, good. That's right. Opiate withdrawal is no joke. And she doesn't get to decide when people see or feel that. So that should show you that, yeah, it's bullshit. All right. That's right. Nobody should be attacking each other. I'll send Gypsy on ya. Hey, Christy, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're listening. We're fine, Toddy. We're just trying to make sure we're all PC and supportive over here. Absolutely, guys. Please, please, please. No, Lisa, you rock. All right. I know she wasn't in pain during the interrogation, Alice down the rabbit hole. She was a horrible person, right? Yeah, she a liar, liar, pants on fire. My dad, okay, so she was asking about the funeral and what arrangements. My dad sat there, his face full of dread. Christy pulled her shoulders back and said, there was no money for a funeral, baby. Dee Dee was cremated. That's the last thing her mama wanted. There was money. I mean, there was a safe filled with money. She didn't take all of the money. To save the ashes from being discarded, Mama's sister, Aunt Claudia, had paid for the ashes to be sent to her. I hated me. I had taken life from my mom, and now I had taken her wish for death. I thought about the smock. Yeah, in other words, she's thinking Gypsy wants you to believe that she feels so bad about um not about her mom being cremated that now she's thinking about maybe unaliving herself. Not the fact that she unalived her mom, but the fact that, you know, she unalived her mom in a brutally fashion, and, mm, they could have buried her, but yeah, you should have thought about that before. As much as I thought about unaliving myself, never, Gypsy, never in a million years, never in a million years do I believe she thought about unaliving herself. She is such a narcissist. No way, huh, Danny? Danny, why are you just sitting there? You shouldn't even be, you're too young for mommy to be reading this book to you, my dogged her. And don't get any ideas. I could read you about Lassie or Benji, but not about Gypsy, okay? All right. As much as I thought about unaliving myself, I had the chance at county to be baptized for the 7th time in my life. My mom experimented with different churches and Christian denominations, so we were baptized a lot. That's not true. A lot of these churches do not allow you to get baptized more than once. I know that for a fact because I was only baptized once in my life, and it wasn't even that long ago because I wanted to 100% be sure. Not about being baptized, but about the person baptizing me not thinking I was cursed for being gay, but baptizing me knowing I was gay and knowing God still loved me anyway and that I was still saved by God. So, but there's more churches than not that only allow you to be baptized one time. So, Gypsy's full of shit once again. Each time that I got baptized, felt like a hopeful renewal and a cleansing, so I didn't mind the redundancy. But after the whole thing went down with Dan, I'd become angry at God for leaving me with her, for not showing me the way out. I'd ask God in church and before bed in my head over and over, God, make this tormenting hell stop. Please help. Nothing ever changed. I prayed to him at doctor's appointments, before procedures, when mama put a spell on me 2 weeks before the MURDER. I prayed to him again. Please don't let me make, please don't make me get that surgery. Don't let them, don't let them take my voice, her fucking voice. No one ever came. With each prayer, oh, this is God's fault now. Things only seemed to get worse, so I gave up on God. Oh, this is God's fault for sure. Where did Dan come into this? Because I didn't miss anything here. Dan's name hasn't been mentioned in forever. So, how did Dan? 277 of you guys, thank you so much. Please hit the like button. Get this out there into the algorithm. Um, Seriously, how did Dan's name come into this? Thank you so much, Salmonella. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You know what I'm drinking, right? My San Pellegrino. I love my San Pellegrino. At county, after hearing about my mom's cremation, my soul turned to ash. I doubt that. I felt so dirty, so unclean. I craved holy water to absorb into my skin and absolve me from my sin. All because she was cremated. Not because she did what she did to her mom, but because they cremated her. Gypsy could have given the money back and said, please, please bury my mama. Please just bury my mama. Yeah, she didn't give a shit about her mom. Obviously, you see what she did to her mom. Disgusting. Finally, around Halloween time, I was cleared to join the general prison populations. That's GP, General Pop, or Gen Pop. Again, without any explanation. To this day, I can only speculate that the people in charge didn't see any symptoms of disease. I had been, however, having debilitating withdrawal from the oxy. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again, you don't tell somebody that you're withdrawing from something like this. Your behavior tells them. So this is untrue. This is, I don't know how to put this without sounding stupid, but this is an actual insult to drug addicts that are struggling with trying to be clean. She is just spitting in their face when she says stupid things like this. Just coming off drugs cold turkey is not for the faint of heart. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. But if you are reading this and have an addiction, I plead with you to get help. Because it can be done. Oh, advice from Gyps-a-hooooooy. The suffering of withdrawal is worth the life you will get back. Did they observe me as I winced through stomach cramps and flu-like symptoms? In just a smock, the cold shakes, the simultaneously vomiting and diarrhea were incessant. And I had nothing to alleviate my severe discomfort. Did they not see I needed a blanket? Abandoned and without information, this was a low point for me. If it was a true, it would be a low point for everybody. Everybody. All right. Information. This was a low point for me as I wasn't quite processing my crime and arrest. My mind just went to my mom and back to the smock. She really wants us to believe that she thought about unaliving herself. Cool, Mystic Cherokee Tarot. Thank you. Yeah, I know that there is. They can have as much money on the books, but they can only spend so much, and they can only have so much commissary and so many items in their cell at one time. That's true. All right, let me see. There were other people I missed, like Aunt Rachel, one of my mom's only true friends. We met Rachel Miller around 2007. She worked at the American Cancer Society, Hope Lodge in Kansas City, where Mama and I would stay whenever I would have hospital appointments. Aunt Rachel and her family would come and visit us. We rarely had visitors, so I remember these moments vividly. They were happy times. I remember one year Aunt Rachel and her husband planned an Easter egg hunt for her kids and me. Is that one of the kids that you wanted to push with the eyes in the back of the head? It was one of the very few holidays I had celebrated with other people. Mama trusted Aunt Rachel so much, I believe she wanted to give her power of attorney upon her death. See? So she did. She was looking out for you. So Rachel would be able to take care of me when Mama was gone. Mama trusted no one with me, so Rachel Miller is something special. Or she really hated her and wanted you to, unalive her. I spent a lot of time wondering about our friends and family. Sick with worry about what they thought about me. Oh, she didn't give a shit. Once I joined General Pop and was allowed a pen, my first letter was to Aunt Rachel. 2 days after I mailed it, I received a letter back from the jail saying that I had confessed to the crime of murder. I remember one line to Aunt Rachel that simply stated, "Yes, I have a part in this, but my part is small." I came up with the whole fucking idea. The weapon, talked the guy into it for 2.5 years. Yeah, I was much stronger in my mental capacity than he was, but just a little bit. I'm only responsible for a little bit. And that was it. The one sentence in a 2-page letter. Someone in the mailroom had read the letter. Someone in the mailroom had read. The letter would be forwarded to the court. As soon as I could, I called Mike. You know, her a fake ass lawyer who I think I messed up. They're taking it as a confession. Just like my dad, Mike was cool. Calm down, he said. I'll look at it and we'll get through this. I wanted to trust him just like I wanted to trust my dad, but the one person I had put all my trust in had lied to me and used me for my whole life. Gypsy. She's talking about our mama. Dee Dee. Oh, Dee Dee. She was the only person that took care of you, dumb bitch. If my own mom could hurt me, the other way around, and not have my back, you had her back 17 times. Who would Mike or why would my dad or Mike be any different? At first, I didn't believe Mike was trying to help me, especially when he was questioning me about things I just couldn't understand or was hearing for the first time. Like I didn't have leukemia or anemia or any of the illnesses that had defined me and confined me. But you knew that, Gyps-a-hooooooy. Gyps-a-hooooooy. You knew that. One of the other inmates at county saw how much I was struggling with the truth, with my guilt, with my loneliness, and she told me I could trust, you ready? Her with my feelings. It felt so damn good to just let every emotion pour out of me. At the time, waiting for trial, I was so desperately holding on to my love for Nick. Where did that come from? Missing my mom and scared to be alone with so many strangers, the shame and guilt were like two lumps in my throat, making it so hard to talk through what I had done. And the inmate was sharing so much of her story with me, telling me she understood what I was going through. Her being vulnerable with me helped me see she was a trustworthy friend. So the ease with which I cried it out with this inmate was a lesson in why we need other people in our lives. And then we fuck them over when we don't need them anymore. I added that bit because it's so gypsy. You can't struggle or succeed alone. We are not wired to. My wiring had haywired for so long. So I decided she was bonding with me and it was safe to form a trust. And then that inmate went to her public defender and told him everything I told her in confidence. Of course she did. Of course she did. Welcome, Ray Ray. Ray Roo. Welcome. I remember Mike coming to me and telling me that the inmate I'd opened up to was trying to trade my secrets, which didn't even have much to do with the crime, for a plea deal. She had used me for her own benefit. I had made myself a target of manipulation again. Well, what do you think you did with Nick Godejohn? Do you think that maybe you used him? Gyps-a-hooooooy. Do you think maybe you used Ryan? Gyps-a-hooooooy. She is projecting much. Guys, there's 311 of you. 188. She uses everyone is right. I'm just reading about you guys. Hypocrite. I like that. Hypocrite. Like hypocrite, hypocrite. I like that. Steph Goodman, welcome. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for giving us a shot. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Ginocchio. I like that too. Thank you. Thank you. Always the victim. All right. Anybody got any eddies in the chat? Anybody want to share any eddies with the storyteller here? Gypsy Thorn. Gyps-a-hooooooy. I think that I watched something about Nina saying something. Lisa, you smoking a doobie? Now I'm crying. Just a vape. All right. I got you, Toddy. Okay. Well, I got a big fat joint here. I'm going to smoke on some. So give me a minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. Somebody's smoking a bowl. Where's Danny? Ah, she's probably under the bed. I didn't roll this fancy smancy joint. I got a pre-roll. I can't roll that well. All right. The story scared her away. No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. All right. You ready? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Not really, though. I smoked. Sorry. Not really, but, you know. I used to be my job making pre-rolls. Wow. No more royal mashed potatoes. Nope. All right. All right. Let me see. Where did we stop? That she was used as a target of manipulation again when she uses people as a target of manipulation, as you guys know, right? The holy water was just a stopgap. After I learned about my mom's cremation, I began to have nightmares as my subconscious processed what had actually happened. One reoccurring dream was Mike, my dad, Christy, and I rummaging through Mama's hoarding in order to clean out the house. Mike finds Mama's baby pillow and a pillow and a pillow and hands it to me, dripping with her blood. The nightmares consumed me, and I wished for Oxy to take me away. Is that like what was that commercial? Take me away, Olay? She wanted Oxy to take her away. During the day, I was living in a detached dream state. I cried at night often, telling other inmates, I miss my mom. I miss my mom. Some would suck their teeth or act baffled, but most of them gave me a listening ear and a shoulder to cry on. And in the meantime, she's treated all these ex-inmate friends of hers like shit. Until that one inmate snitched on me to her lawyer. I remember thinking, this is what having a friend must feel like. In that way, I preferred jail to isolation I felt on volunteer way. In that way, I preferred jail to the isolation I felt on volunteer way. Or, you know, I mean, they could tell on you, or they can totally manipulate you to unalive somebody and do a lifetime in prison. What do you think's worse? Gyps-a-hooooooy. What do you think's worse? Calgon, take me away. There you go. There you go. In our next meeting, Mike warned me not to talk to anyone anymore. You can't help yourself, though. I was more alone than I had ever been, potentially digging a deeper hole for myself as we awaited my trial. I needed something bigger than myself to call upon. And so, for the first time in a very long time, I made a praying part of my daily life. She just got done telling us that she prayed all the time, I thought, right? My prayer sounded more like a desperate begging. Please, God, please help me. I'm so scared, God. I don't know what to do. I don't know what is happening. Why is this happening? Please, God, I'm so sorry. Please send me a blessing. I don't mock God, but I mean, you pray to God not as a wishing well. You know what I mean? First of all, get on your knees and ask for forgiveness. You took a life out that He gave life to. Giving testimony during my deposition is when I heard how Nick had so violently cut my mom. Oh God, I don't think Nick did that. I think you or Dan and you did that. Gyps-a-hooooooy. My dad and Christy tried to protect me as much as possible from the details. They trickled information to me so I could handle it over time. They were just so good to you. I mean, they were so good to you. I mean, what did it require? It required what, a phone call once a week, maybe, monthly or every 3 months a visit. I mean, what was the requirement that was needed at the time that they should be like, I don't know, that we should say, wow, what great dad and what great stepmom. I mean, like, it's easy to show up for somebody in prison. All you have to do is answer the fucking phone. So, you know, they trickled information to me so I could handle it over time. It was already enough to learn that my mom had Munchausen by proxy. Well, first of all, Gyps-a-hooooooy, if you know anything about it, your mom would have had Munchausen and you would have been the by proxy. And that my dad had not been a deadbeat after all. But he sort of kind of was, because he thought you were going to die when you were 18 and he never spent any time with you, not thinking that time was ticking away and that he was going to lose you at 18. He's kind of a deadbeat dad because he made no effort to spend more time with you, thinking you were dying. Think about that again. Gyps-a-hooooooy. There's no way I could live through seeing the photos. I haven't seen them, but I'd imagine visuals from the prosecution's cross-examination. So what she's saying is she didn't see the photos of Dee Dee. She didn't have to. She was there. So you didn't ask Nick to cut the back of her neck so deep it was down to the bone or stab her 17 times? By the time the 1-year anniversary of my mom's death came around, I was still lingering in the overcrowded jail. I found it impossible to navigate my emotions, mostly because I didn't understand them. Being shielded from the gradual process of growing up and maturing, I was now experiencing a crash course in coping. Excuse me. You can't tell days from weeks in jail. Sleep folds into wakefulness. What you dream becomes shadows that walk beside you throughout the day. These analogies, these descriptions, they're just friggin', what do they call it now? Food salad. Just unbelievable. You can't tell days from weeks, sleep folds. I had my okay. The first 6 months at county were an emotional overload. Death, discovery, defense. That was only the beginning. In October of 2015, after I was released from my unaliving watch, suicide watch, I had my feeding tube removed by a disinterested robotic county surgeon. When he popped it out, I was stunned at how easily I went on with my life. My mom had told me if it were ever to be removed, I'd die. I had already gained about 10 pounds, which according to Mike was an indication of how malnourished I was. You guys saw pictures of her, right? She wasn't malnourished. She was only 4'11", and remember that, because when you see pictures of her, she wasn't, you know. County is not exactly known for its buffets. Oh, please don't talk about the food in county jail. It's better than what you do. I mean, at least they fucking, when they make mac and cheese, and I know this for a fact because we made it plenty in county, because I used to work there. Yeah, buddy, we fucking heated those noodles up, bitch. Not like you, who puts the shit together and just hands it out like a bowl of cereal. Crunch as you go. All right. I had already gained about 10 pounds. County is not exactly known for its buffets, and Mike told me inmates typically lose weight upon incarceration. That's not true. That's really not true because there's so many carbohydrates in the food. I mean, the food is loaded with carbohydrates, and people eat fucking commissary items like they're going out of style, and they're lazy. And they're lazy. People gain weight in jail. I hated that damn feeding tube. It represented her absolute control over me. However, the gaping hole left behind became smaller and smaller. The healing process had begun. I constantly grazed my hand over the bandage and then the scar like you do stitches on a new piercing. How do you know? How do you know? Or a new piercing. Like you do stitches or a new piercing. How do you know? I could hear her voice. I could hear my mom's voice. Stop fussing with it. Stop fussing with it. Stop fussing with it. Gypsy, stop fussing with it. That one was the good one, right? That one was the good one, right? Gypsy, stop fussing with it. That was good, right, guys? Guys, what do you think of my Dee Dee imitation? My alive Dee Dee imitation. Physically, my body was growing into itself, playing catch up. I was morphing into the person that my DNA had intended. I learned my hair was brown. Yeah, she didn't know that. I learned that my hair was brown, like I imagined, and wavy as it began to grow in. As I put on weight, my breast and my butt rounded out. Of course, we're going to talk about that. My leg muscles got stronger simply from the short walks I'd take to the canteen. You walked around your apartment or your house, Gypsy. You walked around the house. Emotionally, though, I was lost. I still grieved my mom. I missed her. She had been my only companion. I beat myself up for having the audacity to think such things. The hypocrisy. But the roller coaster continued as Mike showed me the egregious medical records. Yeah. The hypocrisy. But the roller coaster continued as Mike showed me the egregious medical records, and my grief would turn to anger and righteous indignation because you were just so honest and true, Gyps-a-hooooooy. So honest and true as you stole things, as you lied, as you manipulated, as you sent letters to Nick's mom and dad promising that he would be safe and well taken care of and cared for by you, looked after by you. While the only reason why he was brought there was to unalive your mom. I hope they fucking sue you. That family should sue you for breach of contract or breach of promise or whatever. You sick, disgusting piece of shit. Sorry, guys. I am so sorry, guys, but I just, you know that this book is just bullshit. I mean, you know it's lies. So, yes, Amy, yes, you should read the letters. Miss Stephanie, I love Nicholas. I'll take care of him. Mr. Bobby, oh yeah, you should read those letters. Uh-huh. Letters promised because they were worried about him. Promised. Oh no, I'll take care of him. I love him. Nick's mom's dead. Nick's mom died. Yeah, that's where the anger comes from when she says certain things and I just can't hold it in. You know, and I get angry because She totally took advantage, knowing he's sitting there doing life, and she's out living her best life, selling books, lying. Anyway, every day brought a different emotion until the first anniversary of my mom's death came around and knocked me over like a sneaky undertow. How do you know you've never been to the beach? I was flattened out by the thought of what I had been doing and with whom just 1 year prior. All I wanted to do was escape. Escape in the opioids my cellmate had access to. Okay. So all I wanted to do was escape. Escape in the opioids my cellmate had access to. That's exactly what I did as I waited for trial. And then in July 2016, God answered my prayers and sent me the blessing I had asked for. County Prosecutor Dan Patterson announced he would not seek the death penalty for either me or Nick. You didn't give a fuck about Nick, calling the case extraordinary and unusual. Yeah, I'm sure that you found that flattering too. Patterson also took into account my abuse. There was no abuse, marked by my noticeable malnourishment. Guys, please, you saw the pictures. Come on. And agreed to allow me to plead guilty to a lesser crime of second degree MURDER. Because of the plea deal, I didn't have to stand trial. The judge sentenced me to prison for 10 years, eligible for parole in December of 2023. In the meantime, I lied to everybody, including my lawyers. I didn't know it yet, but the next decade would help me get my life back. That was a long ass chapter, or I made it long. I think it was a long ass chapter, guys. For real, for real. All right, let's see. Well, we're going to do chapter 18. You guys want to take a break for a minute? Because this is another 10 page, 11 page, 15 million page. This is another pretty long chapter for sure, for sure. All right, well, I got to blow my nose. Yeah, this is a pretty long chapter too. So, all right, yeah, guys, thank you for wherever you want, Toddy, a smoke break. I do want to take a smoke break too, but I do want to blow my nose. Do what you got to do, girlfriend. All right, I will do. Hang on. Hey, little boy. All right, guys. Look, doesn't that sound a lot better? I'm reading stuff in the chat. Thank you. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you. Hi from Canada. Joni Ziegler. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you guys like my commentary. You know, hey, Kimberly, French toast, crunchy French toast is the best. So you make French toast, excuse me, and then you either buy graham crackers or frosted flakes, and you crunch up your frosted flakes. And after you put the batter on the French toast, you go ahead and put that shit on there. And then you go ahead and grill that up. Crunchy French toast, that's the bomb. And then you put strawberries and blueberries and blackberries on it. You could even put banana if you'd like. No, it's my favorite breakfast, and I used to go every Sunday. Me and 3 other women used to go when I was doing real estate, and we used to go every Sunday to this place, and that's what we'd all get the same thing: crunchy French toast and well done bacon. Seriously. Yeah, we haven't done it in a minute. It's unfortunate 2 of the women lost their moms, and well, now I guess we could do it again. I shouldn't say it. We did it, I think, last month. You know, it's the holidays, so we'll probably do it again the first of the year. It is so good, man. It's really good. So we do need to do that again, me and my friends. So Milo is here, my little sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. He probably wants his freeze bone. So should I give him his freeze bone? He's sitting here giving me those gooey eyes. His eyes aren't gooey. They're just they're making me melt. You're making me melt, little boy. Hold on, let me give him. Oh, I love I love boxers are so famous for that. You're gonna break my neck. Hang on. I'm gonna give you a little freeze bone. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Blame it on the moonlight. And Danny's here. Danny's here. This is for Milo. And this is for Danny. Okay. There you go. There you go, guys. Have a good time with that. Have a good time with that. Okay. All right. So, catnip, huh? Milo and Danny. Yeah, they got so the marrow bones, there's nothing in there. There's no more marrow. So I take and I put peanut butter and pumpkin, and then I put that in the freezer, and they get that. Hero used to love it too. Danny loves peanut butter. One of Danny's favorite things is peanut butter. She's figuring out what these bones are. So, hey, Just Jen. Yeah, she's figuring out that if she puts her paw on the bone won't move. So she's able to lick the stuff. She's doing great. Much better. And Milo is just chilling on the carpet there, of course. It's not a carpet, it's like a rug. That's fine. He's holding his bone too, so it doesn't go anywhere. They're adorable, my guys. Yeah, I love when their ears when they do that, and that Danny doesn't do that. Hero used to with her eyes. But boxers are famous for doing that. Okay, this is another French thing. I didn't smoke any, by the way, just so you know, but I will now. I went to the bathroom. I blew my nose. I washed my hands. Pug heads. Yeah, they tilt too. See, Danny is a Labrador. an old lab named Frankie and a Yorkie called Murphy. Who is the cat in the picture? That was my cat Dylan, and then that was my cat China. That was my cat Ziggy. And then there's a picture of a cat named Jake. That's the first time Danny. So Danny, that's the first time she ever picked up her bone with her mouth and moved it to a place that she wanted. So she finally realized she used to walk away from the bones. Like if she didn't want to be in the room where the bone was, she'd walk away. She didn't realize she could take the bone with her. This is the first time. This is the first time. That's excellent, right? My beautiful kids they're gone. They were I had 5 pets, 5 dogs. I mean, I'm sorry, I had 5 pets. I had 3 cats and 2 dogs. And then I had 3 cats and 3 dogs, and then I had 3 cats and 1 dog, and then 3 cats and 2 dogs. The cats, I have bully sticks too. I have bully sticks. I have pork knuckles, and I have that. I try to give them stuff that doesn't have anything, like they have like the Blue Moon jerkies up there. Let me tell you something. They eat better than I do. They have $1 million beds. There's like probably 12 beds in the house without exaggeration. 2 full crates, so there's 2 suites. Danny has an ensuite almost. They haven't made these guys. They get steak or chicken with their meal, as well as dog food, all the supplements, medications. Milo has Cushing's. He gets medication every single day. Danny's on Prozac. She's a nut job, but we love her. Medication every single day, and she's on doxycycline right now for the heartworm. We have an appointment this month to see that we got rid of the heartworm. I'm praying, and Milo's got some sort of growth. He's an old boy. It's tough being a pet parent, but I wouldn't have it any other way. My mom was upset today because her dog, she misses her dog. I miss my hero, heartbroken over hero all the time, every day. It's tough. It's tough. They're better than people. I hate to tell you. I don't need to tell you. You guys know, right? You have 6 cats. It is. I didn't roll it though. I bought it. It's legal where I live. So I didn't roll it. I bought it. I'm not horrible at rolling. I roll better if I don't look at it, to be honest with you. All right, guys, you ready to go? You ready to rock on? All right. So this is French. It's chapter 18. Are you guys ready? Yep. Sonia, they're what makes me happy, seeing them. I don't want a house that doesn't look lived in. When I was younger, we had a room we couldn't even go in. It was like a museum. So, yeah, I don't need that. All right, all right, guys, you ready? 11 cats and a dog. Wow. Wow. Okay, Kathy Hanna, let's go. All right. So this is chapter 18. Que ni avance pas recule. I don't know that I'm not pronouncing these things correctly, but it means who does not move forward recedes. Compared to Greene County. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, because it's seltzer, the San Pellegrino. So gassy. Compared to Greene County Jail, Chillicothe felt like a playground. Chillicothe wasn't overcrowded and filthy, and I was no longer alone. I lived in a pod that looks more like a dormitory, so I'm told, with a key to a door and roommates. At Chillicothe, it was eventually the first time I could explore. I was freer in prison than I had ever been in my whole life living with my mom. I found myself frolicking in nature more than I ever could in a wheelchair, watching butterflies and slugs on Volunteer Way. A patch of grass on the side of a concrete courtyard opened my imagination. I was Frulein, Fräulein Maria. I'm not good at these tragic lores and shit, but Fräulein, how do they say that? Yeah. Anyway, Fraulein Maria, twirling on a hill. Oh, from whatchamacallit? Wasn't that from A Sound of Music? I was a Southern belle, picking dandelions and fighting off Civil War suitors. I was Snow White, yodeling to the forest creatures. Yeah, you yodel all right. Fraulein. There you go. Fraulein. Yep, Fraulein. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I meant. Fraulein Maria. And that was from like A Sound of Music, right? I thought about my mom a lot, reflecting on the few happy memories from my early childhood. Man, there are pictures of happy memories. Outside in my prison playground, I'd remember Frosty. I'm sorry, guys. Frosty the Mardi Gras snowman. So that's what it says. I'd remember Frosty the Mardi Gras snowman, but I gotta sing it. I'm sorry. I'd remember Frosty the Mardi Gras snowman and the arts and crafts we do. I'd I gotta have fun with it, guys. I'd still have frequent nightmares. One reoccurring nightmare I began to have was me being asleep, lying on my back in my bunk in the dark, and I'd feel something on my chest. In the nightmare, I woke up to a dark figure tearing open my chest and eating my heart. When I woke up from the nightmare, I was in the same position I had been in the dream. I'd feel paralyzed and frightened with the lights off. When I'd close my eyes, the scene from the nightmare appeared in my awake state. The demon was there. When I'd open my eyes, it would disappear. The demon lived within you, and it still does. Gyps-a-hooooooy. Life at Chillicothe had its ups and downs, points of progress and regression. I had gotten clean while at county progress, but then the roommate I had in 2018 was still in her addiction. And upon getting her fix of Suboxone, a medication ironically intended to treat opioid addiction, she'd share it with me and I'd relapsed. Who knew you could get addicted to the drug that's supposed to lead you out of addiction? Who knew that you would unalive the person that brought you into this earth? I began to abuse Suboxone regression. There's definitely a pipeline in prison that makes it easy to figure out who has access to drugs. Some women got them smuggled in, sometimes guards delivered them, other times visitors passed them off to an inmate. All I had to say was, I have money. And the dealer would find me and supply me with Suboxone. Buying and selling drugs in prison was risky, as you can get tossed in the hole, which in prison talk, which in prison, which in prison talk for segregation, which which is prison talk for segregation. I'm sorry, which is PC talk for solitary confinement. When you're addicted, there are no limits to what you'll do to score. Okay, we could call this hole so many things. We can call it the SHU, special housing unit. We could call it isolation. Solitaire. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Anyway, Despite my addiction and shame, prison life was still an open field of eye-opening experiences. Excuse me. I want it to be known that Gypsy said in an interview that she bought many I was under the impression pills, but I thought Suboxone came in strip form. It might come in more than strip form now, but she gave the impression that she bought many for $50. That's not true. Even on the street, come on. In prison, to buy Suboxone, maybe you'll get 2 at the most for $50. I bet you can only buy 1 for $50. So she's full of shit, because anybody that knows how much things are, and if they, first of all, if you're buying drugs in jail, you know how much they are. You know how much a cell phone is in jail? Like a fucking flip phone, like a $30 flip phone. Like, I think you might be able to get a broken one for $500. So, like, come on. This is all bullshit. They come in a dissolving tablet. Okay, cool. But you think that you're going to buy how many for $50? At the most, if you're lucky, you'll buy 2. She's so full of shit. And it's really, there are people that actually struggle, as we know, and there are people that have come off of it, and she is just smacking everyone's face again. Okay. Despite my addiction and shame, prison life was still an open field of eye-opening experiences. Wherever I turned, I heard and saw things I never imagined existed. I took up smoking cigarettes and heard so much profanity and horror stories of other women's lives. I saw sex in open places. Well, we know how much you probably enjoyed that. Have you ever had a woman go down on you? One horny woman asked. I never had anything like that from anyone, was basically my answer, in between nervous giggles. I don't believe that in a minute. Want to try? Then she told me if I let her, she'd give me her servings of biscuits and gravy. The much anticipated sentence that we heard from many places about the biscuits and gravy. Okay. I was no longer in contact with Nick, but once in a while, Mike would update me on the details of his trial and the seriousness of his possible sentencing. Nick ultimately received life without parole, plus 25 years for armed criminal action. Hearing this made me feel similar to when I heard about my mom's cremation. I didn't love Nick anymore. Well, you couldn't use him anymore. But I knew the reason he was in this situation was partly because of how he felt about me. Let's change that around. Big fucking red pen here. But I knew the reason he was in this situation was 100% my responsibility, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. One of the many positive things about my time in Chillicothe is a mandatory class I took in 2018. The class was called Impact of Crime on Victims Class, or ICVC for short. The purpose of the class is to raise awareness of the far-reaching consequences of your crime and how your actions impacted the victims. The class was extremely powerful because it was an because it was an environment where I could begin to learn to process my past, take accountability for my crime. You never learned that. Never fucking learned that. And understand that my mom was not the only victim of my horrible decision. Your mom was the only victim. And so was Nick. So there were 2 victims. You were not a victim in this. You were the perpetrator, the mastermind. The class was extremely powerful because it meant accountability. And one of our very first assignments was to write a letter to the person we committed a crime against. While writing it, I remembered all the people in our lives, my mom's siblings, our neighbors who loved and cared for us, all except Aaliyah, who didn't like me. She was a bully. And Nick, all people who were either by blood or by choice taken in by my mom's con act that hurt so many. But I'm innocent of everything. I just went along for the ride. The first class ride in the airplane, the first class ride in the helicopter, where I get to rub elbows with celebrities. That was a really bad Gypsy Rose imitation, but it is what it is. I can't take it back. We're live now. It's out there forever. I hadn't thought of Nick as a victim before taking this class. While he made the conscious choice to unalive my mom and do so violently, he did lose his freedom and therefore his life because I was a catalyst. He wanted to run away. There is proof in messages. He asked her to run away so many times. Let's just go, Gypsy. We don't need anything. Let's just go, Gypsy. Let's just go, Gypsy. Let's just go. No, the only way I can go, Nick, is if you kill her because she's gonna follow us. My obese mom is gonna follow us. The letter I wrote to my mom gave me a peace that no holy water ever could. I found my voice. I found my voice. I found my voice. I found my voice. Which voice did you find, Gyps-a-hooooooy? I found my voice and used it to offer my heart and soul to her. Finally, I trusted God would deliver her the message and she would forgive me for what I had done. Oh, here comes a letter. Are you ready, Freddies? Are you ready? Venus Sandra, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Violet, you're absolutely right. She created this Franken-Gyp, but Dee Dee didn't have like the darkness that Gypsy. She was a con and she was a malingerer and absolutely right. And she should have been brought to justice. This was not her justice. This is like somebody that dies on a roller coaster ride because of something that's wrong with the roller coaster ride, but people say, oh, you shouldn't get on it if you have any kind of heart condition. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's too much. All right. All right. You ready for the letter? Exactly. Dee Dee was not as evil by a million times like her. You know, I mean, she absolutely should not have stolen the way she stolen and all that. But she gave back too. I mean, not to the extreme in which she took, but she didn't have this darkness. She didn't have this violent, this anger, this, oh my God, whatever the sickness that Gypsy has. So let's read the letter. What's up, Milo? That's enough, handsome little boy. You're so handsome. Go lay down. Now you go lay down. All is well. Go lay down. And just go lay down, mister. Go lay down. All right. Mother, I am now 28 years old and in prison for my part in your unalivement. And although I can never justify my crime, nor can any letter or apology give back the life that was taken, I am writing this as if you were physically in front of me to express all that I have held in for the whole of my life. I am writing this letter having had nearly 5 years to feel the emotions felt when expressing the words written. Every day since your death, I have had nothing but time to reflect on the choices that have led me to where I am today. Moreover, of how your own actions form the circumstances around mine. First of all, Gypsy can't articulate like this. Second of all, here comes the blame. The woman writing this letter to you is far different than the girl who once who was once broken and desperate to live what I would later come to understand as just an average life for a young woman. You lived so much more than an average life, in all honesty. Living 23 years of my life with you as my only guardian, the one person who had the responsibility of shaping who I would grow up to become. Unfortunately, my upbringing was a far cry from that which it should have been. Starting from my birth, going into my young adulthood, being isolated from having any other human interaction other than, I'm sorry, there's dog hair or something under my nose. Any other human interaction other than with you was lonely. I'm sorry, let me start again. Starting from chapter 1. I'm joking. Starting from my birth going into my young adulthood, being isolated from having any other human interaction other than with you was lonely, and has affected my ability to have appropriate social skills necessary to make healthy social interaction with others. Well, you just spent 8 years in prison. You should have figured this shit out. The many unnecessary medical surgical procedures and medications that were forced onto me to treat illnesses that I did not have left my body marked with scars, both physical and emotional. 4 scars, 30 supposed surgeries. That's a magical doctor. Your choice is to not have me educated growing up. Wait, your choice to not have me educated growing up has made it difficult to gain the appropriate level of education needed for a woman of my age. Yet this is such an articulate letter, and I did learn how to read on books like Harry Potter. I'm adding that shit in. And has caused a depleted self-esteem in my ability to make achievements in society. Man, you are so full of puff and shit. When mentioning the overall lack of life experience that was withheld from me by your choice as my mom, you not only took away the normal experiences that shape an individual to be who they are or could be, but you made the choice to keep me from the best things in life that make life worth living as a youth. The best things in life are free. The innocent joy of having a first day of school. The fun of, she went to school. I think she got in trouble. She was violent there, I believe, right? Bad behavior. The fun of going to the mall with friends and buying a new dress that would surely never pass your approval. But you had all of that shit. You had the negligees because you had them when Nick was there. You had the wigs. You had the bad behavior. You had all that shit. You had it. We know she had it. We saw it in the photographs. What a liar. The excitement of being asked to prom, the comfort of your embrace when getting my heart broken for the first time, the nerves of awaiting that college acceptance letter. These are things that I was not able to experience. It would be many years before I was able to fully understand the reasons why I grew up being isolated from others, being taken to the hospital after hospital, doctor after doctor, without anything being medically wrong with me. Waiting for the next time your hand was to strike me for simply trying to make a friend. So untrue. Fear, manipulation, and isolation were all I knew of your kind of love, and the lingering question of why I was unable to be allowed the one thing that everyone else seemed to have, the ability of free will. In the meantime, she was the one that ABUSE, her mom, physically, she was the one. Hi, Danny. She was the one. Mom, after all that has happened, I've been searching for answers and spending my time trying to learn about myself as a person, trying to make sense of why all these events unfolded with this amount of tragedy. Well, the tragedy being that, yeah, I stole a giant knife too, to be exact, and I unalived you with them. First, I tried with a BBGUN, not even realizing it was a BB one. And there goes Danny with a stolen toy, stealing it from Milo with her tail wagging away. She got away with stealing the fox. Okay, going forward, I will take my past and turn it from pain. Oh, wait a minute. I left something out. Hold on. Hold on, I left a shit of it out. How we doing over here? I know. College acceptance letter. I know. I know. Okay. Mm. Mom, after all that has happened, I've been searching for answers and spending my time trying to learn about myself as a person, trying to make sense of why all these events unfolded with this amount of tragedy, besides the fact of having you unalived. I want you to know that I now understand that you were mentally and emotionally unstable when raising me, but I have my shit together, Mom. Trust me, I do, and that your actions were the result of a disorder called Munchausen by proxy. Nope, she would be the one with the Munchausen. Like I said, you'd be the by proxy. That creates abuse inflicted on a child due to mental illness of the parent. Yeah, but she didn't inflict anything on you. She didn't make you sick. She didn't put salt in your sugar. She didn't put spice in your apples. She didn't put potatoes in your frosted flakes. She didn't do anything like that. She was trying to figure out how to take care of you with your chromosome disorder. And yes, she was taking advantage of things she shouldn't have, like a house, like free trips that you benefited from. Gyps-a-hooooooy with the royal mashed potatoes. Oh, yeah. With now having the answers I sought to find, I am able to finally let go of the resentment I held against you and forgive you, Mama. I forgive you for brutally unaliving you. And moreover, I want to let you know that I am so sorry for having a part in your death, the biggest part in your death, planning it, sending the instructional video, talking him into it for 2.5 years, stealing the weapon to do so, too, as a matter of fact. And moreover, I want to let you know that I'm sorry for having a part in your MURDER was never the answer or solution, but it seemed to be the only thing I could think about, fixated on. There is not a single day that you go unremembered. But let me destroy your fucking legacy, Mom, and I will carry this regret and remorse for the rest of my life. And by doing so, I will destroy your friggin' legacy, Mom. I will always love you for bringing me into this world while destroying your friggin' legacy, Mom, and will remember you with love for the woman I know was a good person behind the mental disorder while I destroy your fucking legacy, Mom. Going forward, I will take my past and turn it into pain to perseverance, advocating for children who have suffered abuse at the hands of a parent, sharing my story with others to spread awareness of what Munchausen by proxy is and the ways people can recognize the warning signs, in the hopes that I can educate and make the next child who wonders, why is mommy doing this to me? And I don't mean to make fun of people that really are, because there are victims. Gypsy is not. She is not. She is the evil monster behind all of the bullshit that happened here. And while she said that she wrote this in prison, she has done nothing to advocate. Let me continue on with the lie. Going forward, I will take my past and turn it from pain to perseverance, advocating for children who have suffered abuse at the hands of a parent, sharing my story with others to spread awareness of what Munchausen by proxy is and the way people can recognize the warning signs. Oh my God. In hopes that I can educate and make the next child who wonders, why is my mommy doing this to me? That much braver to reach out for help. That much braver to grab a knife and unalive, telling a listening ear before he or she is behind bars for thinking murder is the way out. I can never undo the hurt that was caused by my actions. The hurt, the unalivement, the 17 jab wounds. But I hope by doing this, I am remembering you well while I destroy your fucking legacy and making a positive difference with your memory while I destroy your fucking legacy. I love you, Mom. I am a pathological fucking liar. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, 2018, Chillicothe Correctional Center, Missouri. That's what she wrote her mama. Hey, she full of shit. She full of shit. She full of shit. I believe she did some too, Amy. I definitely think she did some too. I'm glad you love my commentary, Mama Wolf, because sometimes when I'm reading this stuff and I'm thinking of you guys, I'm thinking, oh my God, are they still with me? So, and I want it to be a little lighthearted because it's so fucking dark, but it's lies, and we know it's lies, 47 more likes needed. Okay, 47 more needed for a magical number. Magical number. All right, let's continue onward. I felt this was so helpful that I signed up for multiple 12-week long classes. I received certificates of completion, which still are valuable reminders of my search for understanding. At one point, I was taking 4 classes at one time. Learning was so much fun. It made me sad that I hadn't had a chance to be a formal student. I was even able to facilitate ICVC in a class called Pathways to Change. For the ICVC class, I needed to be trained to teach, which was really rewarding. This is where I fell in love with the idea of mentoring others. When did that come? Sorry, that came out of left field. Mentoring others, the love for mentoring, when did that happen? Huh? Huh? I never heard about her mentoring others. Did you? She didn't go to counseling because it wasn't forced on her. I think there is some sort of counseling going on now, but not then. I thought I had something in my teeth. All right. According to the penal system, I didn't qualify for formal psychotherapy, which was ironic, being that my first stop at Greene County was unalivement watch. I was too well. And she put the there for a person who was always told she wasn't ever well. This was surprising to hear. However, I was able to read books on a bunch of issues that definitely affected me. How could you read? Codependency, PTSD, insecurity, abandonment, personality disorders, addiction, trust, and on and on and on and on. We just keep on lying on and on. Books were a salvation. Sadly, toward the end of my time at Chillicothe, books were banned. They were being used to traffic, DRUGS, into the prison. Knowing how much books help, labeling them contraband seemed like a drastic measure that would render itself ineffective in the long run. Where there's a will, there's a way. See, that you should have got your ass behind. Like, if you were really reading books, like, that's something to fucking get behind, to fight that. because I would fight that. I don't let them check the books all they want for drugs, but you're not going to ban books. Who even fucking knows if this bullshit is true? They might have banned the books and had the kiosks or like the little Kindles that you could read from. They just didn't take books away because, first of all, let me tell you something about prisons and jails. They want the inmates to be busy. They don't want the inmates talking and coming up with hatching schemes and plans for escape and or rioting. They want them busy. So this I'm not buying into. If they took physical books away, they gave them those tablets and they're able to get books on their tablets. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Uh, One very impactful course I took was on codependency. I read about attachment and learned how and why we form attachments, especially dysfunctional ones. Attachment styles usually begin with mother. I learned that my attachment to my mom was an insecure one, so I made it my mission to please her on the off chance I could turn some of her other personalities in my favor. My self worth was dictated by what my mom thought of me, how she reacted to my performances, and the big one, whether or not she'd withhold her love. Love was like a dangling carrot that made me jump higher to please her, even if it meant going against what felt right. She was such a willful child. This is all bullshit. Thank you so much, Mariska von Bonde. And I'm not trying to be funny. I just don't know how to pronounce your name, but I thank you so, so much. Thank you for that. It's nice to be appreciated. I thank you so much for that. Thank you. My brain had felt like a tossed salad for so long, and now insight and knowledge were available to me if I wanted them. I went on a personal quest to discover who I was without my mom, without being judged by my crime. Where other inmates saw confinement, I saw opportunity to learn independence. I even got a job as a janitor. I can't believe that because I think she's a slob. I don't think she does anything. Just a theory. She said her mom wanted to cut her throat for no reason, so is that her excuse for cutting her mom? So, ooh, 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 Alice down the rabbit hole. You should make a video on that one because that's a very strong theory. That there's a lot of reference to that. Absolutely so. Yes, 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 yes. And we got a lot of people in the chat saying that they think you are correcto mundo. Yes, ma'am. Well done. Well done. I'm looking forward to that video. I'm looking forward to that video. I think you got something there. Yep, 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 yep. All right. Hang on one second. I went on a personal quest to discover who I was without my mom, without being judged by my crime. Where other inmates saw confinement, I even got a job as a janitor. I mopped the floors of the dining room before and after my 30-minute lunch break. I Windexed fingerprints off the plexiglass shields on the sides of the payphones, and I removed crumpled balls of tissue from the visitors' rooms. Sometimes I worked outside in the yard where I disposed of cigarette butts, fresh wads of gum, and general debris blowing around. For some, that might feel confining, but the prison yard was like a playground to me. Let me tell you something. Now, that I believe, but not a playground. The thing is, what's going on, Milo? The thing is that when you have everybody wants usually you want a job in jail, you want a job in prison because it gets you out of the cell block, and especially something outside. Oh, that's A plus because you get to go outside. Usually you only get an hour, right? To hang out outside. to get fresh air. But if you're cleaning outside, you get your hour, then you also get outside. So you can maybe get 2 hours. That's like gold. And then if you get on into other areas of the jail, that's how you start moving shit. That's how you could start moving contraband, and you could become very useful to other inmates. And that's how you become, you know, you get to know other inmates as well. You got to work it. So that's not a bad job to have. Aside from having a job, I was responsible for my own space and had to navigate how to live with other people, how to make friends or not. She says that. Or not. Who am I? Question mark. What makes me tick? Well, a tick? I didn't know anything at all. I didn't even know what size clothing I was because I was always dressed in some costume or boys' clothes. I hadn't seen her in boys' clothes. The only times I wore a pair of jeans that were hand me downs were the night I tried to run off with Dan and when I left the house with Nick after the unaliving. Well, we know differently because, as we know, somebody put up a bunch of pictures of Gypsy in jeans when she was a child, as well as overalls made out of jean material. I didn't know what size shoe I was until I bought my first pair on the day of my release from Chillicothe when I was with Ryan and they were following us. Um, you wear booties in jail, not shoes. That's not true. That's not You wear tennis shoes in jail. You could wear shower shoes in jail. I don't know what the fuck booties are. Never heard of booties in jail. I heard of bobos. Bobos are really cheap tennis shoes, like the blue canvas with the white soles. So she's full of shit. And there's a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of men that wear like brand name tennis shoes that come from the shoe store, not the shoe stores, but the companies themselves. They have to come directly from the company. So or a catalog company that the jail or prison allows. So yeah, she's full of shit. After a lifetime of spending most of my days sitting around watching television, waiting for a doctor's appointment or an errand to run, my routine at Chillicothe initially made me feel busy. As much as I am not a morning person, I liked having somewhere to be, even when somewhere was absolutely nowhere. All that mattered was living out my day with nobody holding my hand. Without my mom's restrictions, my days felt fuller and freer. The one thing that was similar to the life I lived with my mom was living by a schedule, except my mom's schedule was set by a timer for medication dosages, but in a way that familiarity helped with the transition. Guys, if she was on anything other than over the counter shit, she would have had really bad problems. If she was treated for cancer, if she was treated for muscular dystrophy, if she was treated for leukemia, if she was treated for all the bullshit that she lied about, first of all, this would have been in her system. Second of all, she would have been absolutely terrified to leave the house without this shit. Come on, think about it. If you really think there's something saving your life, aren't you going to take it with you? All right. I'm going to have a small little smoke break. Is that all right, ladies? And gentlemen, I'm sorry. Nadatta is a star. Now, she is a woman that supposedly spent time with Gypsy Rose, who has come out of prison and fucking turned her life around to make something of herself, who believes in paying it forward. Yes? All for that. All for that. Nadatta, absolutely. Sorry, guys. I was belching. There's Danny. She's right under me. Milo's over here. They don't like lay together. Milo and Hero were inseparable, but Hero raised Milo. They lived together for 11 years, right? I had Hero for 13 years. She was about 15 years old. And Milo, I've had for 11 years. Hero raised him with me. Hero wore the pants in the family, mine included. She was my rock star. Not a problem, Carissa JV. I think we're halfway through the book, right? This horrible piece of shit. She was on the Chain Gang. Out on the Chain Gang. Remember that song? All right. Trying to put this out because I don't need any more of it. I want to be able to read, but I also want to go to sleep when I'm done because I got to go to work tonight. I have the 90-day video, 90-day fiance video. I have to put that out. I just need the visuals for that. That's all. The images. Did you guys see the video that I put out of failing children? What do you guys think of those? I think that those are really important. You know, talking about the kids, how it's different today than it's been, how it's scary. You know, you send your kids off to school and it's like, is that the day that school's gonna have a shooter in it? I'm so grateful that I don't have children because it would be so scary. So scary, you know. All right, let's continue onward. Not trying to bum y'all out. Isaac Cappy? No, I don't. I'm sorry. Thank you, Carissa. Carrie Ann, yeah. Losing a pet is horrible. Yep. I'm glad I don't bum you out. Yeah, I don't know how, Milo, he's 11 years old and he's got boxer in him. So I don't know, how many, I don't know how much time Milo has. You know, I mean, like, I don't think he's dying now, but, he's old. I see him. Aging, and it's sad. And sometimes Danny is just too much for him. And I get it, but I understand she wants to play. She's got a lot of energy. All right, you ready? I'll have to look up Isaac Cappy. As I don't. All right, let's go. Okay, the one thing that was similar to the life I lived with my mom was living by a schedule. Except my mom's schedule was set by a timer for medication dosages. But in a way, that familiarity helped me with this transition. Help me with the transition. 7:30 a.m. count time. We sat up in our bunks, turned the lights on. Correction officers, COs for short, accounted for all the inmates. This took about 15 to 20 minutes, after which I went back to sleep. So that wouldn't have been like that. 7:30 a.m. count time. They didn't just sit up in their bunks. Chances are they had to have their bunks completely made, and they stood outside their room so that That's the way it was at count time. All right. 10:30 a.m. Got down from my top bunk, clicked on my TV, made a cup of instant coffee. That monster shit that she's not mentioning it here. With my coffee in hand, I headed to the day room. Sometimes I'd make phone calls, but they were really short before I earned time and privileges. Then I'd go back to my room, look at my locker, pick from my canteen items, and make mac and cheese, which I would assume at this point she learned she had to heat up. And like she said before, she was lactose intolerant, so how that worked out. Or some other processed packaged food like ramen noodles and go back to the day room. So she didn't do shit. 1:30 to 3 p.m., we'd have rec time. I like to work out on the elliptical machine for about an hour. I'd come back to the housing unit, shower, and by the time I was out and dressed, it was around 3 p.m. I went to work, I took out the trash, swept and mopped, changed toilet paper rolls, and so on. 4:30 p.m., count time again. We returned to our rooms and sat on our bunks until the COs finished. 5 to 10, free time for phone use or other things like reading or playing games or studying. I was able to get my GED while at Chillicothe. I think she had to for her parole. At 10 p.m., count time and time for bed. So there's no breakfast, lunch, or dinner here. You guys have noticed that, right? And there certainly is time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a mandatory window. So that's not mentioned there. If we were to believe her schedule, she wouldn't need it all. And yeah, she wouldn't need it all. How do you go about figuring out who you are when you spent your life unconsciously playing pretend? Unconsciously. Did your mom kick you in the head? Did somebody take a brain scan? Huh? I want to know. Somebody take a brain scan? It might have taken her 5 years to get her GED. She's lazy. She's lazy. Um, okay. How do you spend your life unconsciously playing pretend? Like everyone else doing life, you weren't doing life. I had to cycle through a ton of growing phases, trial and error over and over. In many ways, I went through adolescence in prison. And since prison is like a grown up high school, women in their 40s act like they're 16. The environment was perfect. Oh my gosh, how fucking insulting is that? When I first got there, I joined a clique and I tried to be one of the mean girls. You are. I took on a new nickname, Jersey, because I acted like my shit don't stink, like I was a mafia girl, The Sopranos or something. Oh my God, this is such bullshit. But a girl from the bayou can't imitate the Meadowlands. But a girl from the bayou can't imitate the Meadowlands. Plus, my idea of a mean girl Jersey persona meant I had to make fun of people or act judgy, like, oh my God, did you see what she was doing in the canteen? It's not nice to make fun of people. And I realized quickly that I wasn't a mean girl, but I can unalive my mom by jab, 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 jab. I think that's 17. Then I went through a goth phase and listened to heavy metal and wore black lipstick. Yeah, because they let you do that in prison. That was brief too. Did the tomboy thing, which was the only defined by my short hair at the time. I kept trying on different hats and different friend groups to see which one fit, just like any adolescent expected to, except I was in my 20s. I tried to experiment with my sexuality too. Oh, here we go. We were just, a few vanilla pages in. I was pretty sure I was straight, but I tried anyway because of sexual abuse I had experienced and the way my mom made me feel dirty in my own womanly body. I had a mental block that prevented me from full satisfaction. I thought perhaps if I experimented with women, I would have a better chance of reaching climax. I think as a young girl, I was exposed to watching shows like Xena, Warrior Princess. Xena and Gabrielle were lesbians, and I had watched it and didn't understand it. When I was around 16, I thought girls were pretty, and that confused me. So I thought she thought they were so pretty, she tried to pull their hair out of their head and push their eyes in the back of their head. Anyway, she thought girls were pretty and that confused her because, oh my gosh, she can't possibly believe other people could be attractive without trying to fuck them. Am I gay? There's a saying in prison, gay for the stay, straight for the gate, straight from the gate. So when in Rome, I did kiss a couple girls and became a pillow princess 4 times. That's when you receive instead of give. Nothing ever happened down there, so I figured I was straight. Really? Because I thought that you gave it up for biscuits and gravy. Now, every time she goes to McDonald's, we gotta wonder what states did they serve the biscuits and gravy in? I guess if she goes through the drive-through, but you know how sometimes you gotta wait in line to get your order? When that happens, somebody needs to keep an eye on Gyps-a-hooooooy. And if she goes in for the biscuits and gravy, I think people should still keep an eye on Gyps-a-hooooooy. Yeah, so biscuits and gravy at McDonald's. You should stop serving them, McDonald's. All right. I was trying to bloom and grow. Chillicothe was my greenhouse. Not exactly a natural habitat, but good enough to get the job done. In order to bloom, an old part of myself had to wither away. The guilt and the shame that defined me had to be reconciled. The trial and error in experimenting with my persona and testing my interests helped me chisel away the old, insecure self that had been a Frankenstein of my mom's making. Funny she used that. The more I learned about what I wanted and needed, the more confident I became in who I was, what I was capable of doing, like unaliving my mom. And what else? And the potential I had to go further. Maybe I'll unalive more. The more I learned about self-worth and forgiveness of myself and others, the more I began to trust my judgment of people. Trust that I could tell the difference between friends and foe. Ay, 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 ay. Growing up friendless, I had no idea what to expect of a friend or how to be one, other than what I learned from actresses like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez on Disney channels. Oh, Selena Gomez is going to take a shower right now. I didn't, but didn't she say that she had friends? She had friends like Aaliyah. She had mentioned her friends in like 2 pages before, right? Come on, man. It's so gray and gloomy outside. Let's see. Uh, okay. I didn't know there were different categories or levels of friendship, that acquaintances play a different role than hang on. Let me start again. Chapter 1. I'm joking. Growing up friendless, I had no idea what to expect of a friend or how to be one, other than what I learned from actresses like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez on Disney Channel shows. I didn't know that there I didn't know there were different categories or levels of friendship, that acquaintances play a different role than friends, or what an inner circle was, or how to build one. Other than Aunt Rachel, my mom didn't model friendship for me with a group of Golden Girls or besties from high school. What is a true friend? What is a fake friend? I had no idea, but I really wanted one. There's another prison motto: you don't come to prison to make friends. Nope, it is. You come in alone, you're gonna leave alone. How do you make friends in a friendless environment? You take a chance. Take a chance on me. I'm singing two different songs there. I'm singing an ABBA song and the other one. Take a chance on me. And then I was singing the other one. Okay. Growing up friendless, I had no idea what to expect. Okay, I did. I read that. All right. When I met Lori and Amelia, I realized what a good friend was. Each of them had been my roommate at one time. Neither befriended me out of fascination with my infamy. Ah, somebody knows what infamy is. It happened organically. A blossoming. God, a blossoming. Before I met Lori and Amelia, I felt like I was giving so much to my prison relationships, always listening and giving. And one day I realized I wasn't getting anything back from these people. So I started making a shank. I put that in there. But true friends, I know, but true friends, I now know, make you a better person. Oh, here we go. But true friends, I now know, make you a better person. And Lori and Amelia did that and then some. I found my tribe. There is nothing more meaningful than knowing you found your people. Having a feeling of belonging changes a life. But first, you have to feel. Numbing myself with Suboxone was not the answer. For a million reasons, I needed to stop. The main reason I had turned to pain killers in the first place was to leave my world behind. Now, to heal, I needed to be present, not vacant. I was so afraid of the withdrawals. They were brutal. Back at county, I could go through them again. They were brutal back at county. Could I go through them again? Then I hit, as they say, my rock bottom. I lied to Christy. Her rock bottom was lying to Christy about saying she broke somebody's CD player when she really needed. Here's the story about the drugs. When she really needed to pay somebody who somebody advanced her some drugs. Not unaliving her mom. I know that that was really loud, sorry. Not unaliving her mom, that wasn't her rock bottom. Not throwing Nick under the bus and claiming that he essayed her when he didn't. Mm, nope. But lying to Christy, the stepmom that was vacant in your life, but made sure her kids were raised by their dad, which is also your dad. That doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. All right. So no, I would think that your bottom would have been unaliving your mom. But let's go. Can you see them, can you see in the morning time at the Blanchard house when Gypsy goes to offer people coffee and they're like, "No, man, I got it. I got it. Don't worry about it. Lay down. I got it. Don't mess with my coffee." And putting like chains and locks and alarms on the refrigerator because they couldn't mess with shit. Can you imagine that? Because could you really live with somebody that's capable of unaliving their mom? Like, you don't think they would poison your fucking food and shit? Come on. Come on. They're all getting like to go there. Oh, my neck. They're all getting to go. Ain't nobody cooking in that house. If they're cooking, Gypsy's got to be up in her room. She ain't coming down. When her hands have got to be, she got to be handcuffed walking to the table. All right, let's go. Anyway, could she go through withdrawals again? Then she hit rock bottom. I lied to Christy and asked her for $50 because I told her this girl's CD player that I broke this girl's CD player and needed cash to reimburse the girl. Christy trusted me and I hurt that trust. I used the money to buy drugs. I told Christy how sorry I was that it wasn't right. I hurt that trust. She said, "I forgive you. I love you all the same." Her forgiveness surprised me. It gave me the courage to quit. Cold turkey. I told myself that this time around, at least I knew what to expect. Facing my demons had to be done sober. Yeah, here she is, Miss Strength. Gyps-a-hooooy, who couldn't run away from her obese mom. That's all bullshit, this. Without the numbing. What about the numbing agent for your mom after she was poked 17 times, you crazy bitch? Without the numbing, my life was beginning to change. I was beginning to feel like someone worthy of giving love and receiving it. Who was even happy I found acceptance and love with trusted friends and family. My relationship with Dad and Christy had flourished through constant phone calls, frequent letter writing, and their own in-person visits where they'd bring me homemade food and pictures and tell me stories about my early life memories that were never mine before. I don't think that they're able to bring you homemade food in, liar. For every story my mom told me about my dad, Christy, and my siblings, Dad had an alternate vision. Dad had an alternate version. In the beginning, our visits together were like first dates. Oh my god. Until I felt comfortable enough to ask Dad and Christy questions about some of the moments of disappointment I remembered. Mike Stanfield was the one who first told me that my dad had been sending money and letters and gifts for me all those years. I didn't believe him. I sent you cards for every occasion, Dad said. But she told me you didn't even know when my birthday was. I sent you a laptop one year, didn't you get it? But she told me we got that from charity. I left messages on your mama's voicemail, was wondering all about you, wanting to know if she got the money I sent for the operation. But she told me you didn't care about me, that you were all about having a son. And now that you got one, I was DEAD to you. Do you know how many times I called Dee Dee to try to plan trips with you? Christy said. Oh, let me go back and fix that one. Do you know how many times I tried to call Dee Dee and plan trips with you? Christy said. I even wanted to take you for long holidays. I could say all that shit now because your mom's not alive to call me a liar. But she told me that you were a bitch and that Dad was beating you and you deserved it. She always thought we were cheating behind her back. And who was that? Okay, this was Christy. Let me go back. She always thought she always thought we were cheating behind her back, and that wasn't true, Christy said. I just stole him from her. Dad and Christy wanted me. They loved me. You would think such news would have elated me. Instead, I felt sadder than I ever had, like I was back in the shed, awaking from the dream I had of our happy life. Guys, do. That's 2 chapters down. We got chapter 19 next. I don't think I'm gonna read it. I think I'm gonna go to bed because I gotta go to sleep so that I can wake up and go to work. And yeah. Mm, 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 mm. You know what? Do you want me to read this one? Let me see. Yeah, it's. I don't think so. No, I think that that's enough. I think that that's enough. Is that all right, guys? So, can we meet again? Can we meet again, my friends? Rod has 4 kids. One girl named Nicolette, I think is her name, or Nicole, something like that, that he never sees. Oh, all right, guys. So, So I don't think that we're gonna do this. Well, yeah, I think we will do this tomorrow. Does tomorrow work for you guys? 2 p.m. tomorrow, which will be Saturday. We'll try 2 p.m. tomorrow. And we'll do a couple chapters tomorrow, okay, guys? And then I'm excited, so excited about my interviews this weekend coming up. So I appreciate you guys. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I so appreciate you. I know I have some emails to get through, and I will get through them. And I'll speak to you soon. I'm going to go to sleep. And I've been in the Facebook, our Facebook page, just so you know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. All right, guys. Be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind. And stay warm, guys, because it's fucking freezing here. Be good, guys. Thanks. Milo.